Listen, gentlemen, if you've ever wondered why some older men effortlessly attract and hold the attention of women, it's not magic, it's mastery. There are four powerful things that make women light up around you, and when you understand them, you'll never struggle with connection again. But before we dive in, make sure you hit that like button, subscribe to the channel, and watch this video all the way to the end, because what you're about to learn could completely change the way women see you forever. Confidence is one of the most misunderstood qualities in men, and yet it is also the most powerful. Many people confuse it with arrogance, with bravado, or with showing off material possessions. But true confidence, the kind that women are deeply drawn to, has nothing to do with noise or display. It is a calm, steady force that radiates from within, and it becomes even more magnetic when it is carried by an older man. The years behind him have given him perspective, and that perspective creates a level of certainty and presence that younger men often lack. When a man is young, he is still learning who he is. He may chase approval, compare himself constantly with others, or try to validate his worth through achievements and status. He looks around the room and wonders how he measures up. This energy, though natural in youth, is exactly what makes him appear uncertain. Women can sense it. They may find him attractive physically, but the energy of insecurity leaves them unconvinced about his stability. An older man who has developed confidence, however, stands apart. He no longer feels the need to compete in meaningless battles. He knows who he is, what he values, and what he has to offer. That selfish assurance shows in his posture, his eye contact, and his calmness. He doesn't try to dominate the room. He simply belongs in it. True confidence is not about external validation. It does not depend on how others respond to you. A confident man does not need constant compliments, nor does he crumble when criticized. He has developed resilience through experience, and that resilience gives him a grounded energy. Women notice this quickly. When they meet a man who isn't shaken by every opinion or every challenge, they feel safer around him. They sense that he won't lose himself easily, and that stability becomes a source of attraction. Confidence also shows in decisiveness. A man who hesitates constantly, who guesses himself, communicates uncertainty. This makes the people around him, especially women, feel uneasy. Decisions, even small ones, become reflections of inner strength. A confident older man does not panic over little choices. He looks, decides, and moves forward. Whether it's choosing a meal, planning a trip, or making a life decision, his clarity shows that he trusts himself, and trust in oneself inspires trust in others. Women are drawn to this decisiveness because it signals leadership. They feel that with him, they can rely on direction instead of confusion. But perhaps one of the most overlooked aspects of confidence is the way a man carries his past. Younger men often try to cover up mistakes, to pretend they've never failed, as if imperfection will make them less attractive. The opposite is true. When an older man speaks openly about his past, about the lessons he's learned from failure, he demonstrates authenticity. He is not hiding his scars, he is wearing them with pride. This tells a woman that he has been tested and has grown stronger from the experience. That kind of honesty creates a powerful connection because it shows both courage and resilience. Women don't expect perfection. They expect growth. A confident man who owns his journey communicates exactly that. Confidence is also felt in the way a man interacts with women themselves. An insecure man often either places a woman on a pedestal or treats her as if she is beneath him. Both extremes come from insecurity. The confident man, however, meets her eye to eye. He values her, respects her, and admires her beauty, but he does not lose his sense of self in the process. He does not beg for approval, nor does he need to put her down to feel strong. Instead, he engages with her as an equal, as a person worth knowing beyond the surface. This balance between interest and groundedness is intoxicating for women. They feel appreciated without feeling smothered, desired without feeling objectified. There is also a subtle difference between arrogance and confidence that women can sense instantly. Arrogance is defensive, it is loud, forceful, and usually rooted in insecurity. The arrogant man constantly tries to prove he is better than others. The confident man has nothing to prove. He is comfortable in his own skin, so he doesn't need to compete for validation. His silence speaks louder than another man's boasting. He doesn't push his worth onto others. He allows them to notice it naturally. This is why women often say, "There's just something about him." That something is confidence that doesn't need to scream. Body language is another area where confidence makes a man stand out. When a man enters a room, his posture says everything before he even opens his mouth. Does he walk with his shoulders back and his head high, or does he shuffle in, hunched and hesitant? Does he make steady eye contact, or does he dart his eyes nervously? Does he speak with a steady tone, or does his voice tremble with uncertainty? These small details are huge signals to women. A confident man doesn't need to fake it. His body naturally reflects his inner state. He takes up space without aggression, and he moves with purpose without rushing. This kind of presence is magnetic because it signals calm control. Confidence also extends into emotional states. Life is full of challenges, and people often reveal their true selves under pressure. A man who panics, lashes out, or falls apart under stress communicates instability. But a confident man remains calm even in storms. He may feel fear or stress, but he doesn't let it control him. Instead, he maintains perspective and responds with balance. Women are incredibly sensitive to this energy. Being with a man who can keep calm under pressure makes them feel safer because they know that no matter what happens, he won't crumble. That sense of safety is one of the deepest forms of attraction. Another important aspect is authenticity. Confidence means you are no longer trying to be someone you're not. Many younger men, driven by insecurity, put on masks. They pretend to like things they don't, act tougher than they are, or hide their true feelings. But with age and growth, a confident man sheds those masks. He says what he means and means what he says. He doesn't pretend, and this authenticity is refreshing to women. They can sense when a man is being real, and realness is rare enough in today's world that it immediately sets him apart. It's important to remember that confidence is not an end goal but a process. It is built over time through self-awareness, through learning from mistakes, and through facing fears. Every challenge a man overcomes adds to his reservoir of confidence. Every risk he takes, every lesson he learns, shapes him into someone stronger. Women can see this history in the way he carries himself. It's in his eyes, in his voice, in his calmness. He is not afraid of life anymore. He has lived it, and he trusts himself to keep living it well. At the core, confidence over age means a man has moved past the need for approval. He no longer chases validation because he has validated himself. He knows his value regardless of what others say. And when a woman encounters this kind of energy, it captivates her. She feels not only attracted, but also inspired. Confidence is contagious. It makes her feel more secure in herself as well. That mutual empowerment is what makes the bond with a confident man so powerful. In the end, what makes women go crazy about confidence in older men is not age itself, but the wisdom and self-assurance that often come with it. Confidence is the ability to stand tall without arrogance, to be open without fear, to act decisively without hesitation, and to be authentic without masks. It is a quiet, steady power that doesn't demand attention but naturally attracts it. When an older man embodies this, he becomes unforgettable. Emotional maturity is one of the most powerful traits that separates men who merely get attention from those who keep it. It's not about how much you earn, how well you dress, or even how physically attractive you are. Those things can draw a woman's eye for a moment, but they don't sustain her respect or her admiration. What women truly respond to on a deep, lasting level is a man's ability to regulate himself, to manage his emotions, and to navigate life with calmness and wisdom. This is why women often find themselves especially attracted to older men who have taken the time to develop emotional maturity. It is the quality that makes a woman feel secure, valued, and understood. When a man lacks emotional maturity, it shows in how he reacts to life's challenges. He might lose his temper easily, speak without thinking, or shut down emotionally when confronted with stress. These reactions create instability. A woman in such a relationship feels as though she's walking on eggshells, never knowing how he will react, never sure whether she can truly open up. This is exhausting, and it makes her feel unsafe. An emotionally mature man, on the other hand, responds instead of reacts. He has learned to pause, to breathe, and to approach problems with a clear head. His composure gives the relationship stability, and this is one of the most attractive qualities a woman can ever experience in a man. Emotional maturity also involves empathy, the ability to step into someone else's shoes and truly understand their perspective. Too many men think that listening means waiting for their turn to speak, or jumping in with solutions before the other person has even finished explaining. A woman does not always want a man to fix her problems. Often, she just wants him to hear her. An emotionally mature man knows this. He gives her space to express herself, validates her feelings without dismissing them, and acknowledges her emotions even if he sees the situation differently. This creates a sense of safety. She feels understood and valued, and when a woman feels that, she naturally opens up more. She trusts him with her inner world. That level of trust builds intimacy that surface-level attraction never could. Conflicts are inevitable in any relationship, but the way a man handles conflict reveals his maturity. The immature man turns every disagreement into a battle to win. He raises his voice, throws blame, and sometimes even uses silence as a weapon. These behaviors escalate tension and erode trust. An emotionally mature man, however, sees conflict as an opportunity for understanding. He doesn't shy away from difficult conversations, but he approaches them with patience and a solution-oriented mindset. He listens, acknowledges his partner's concerns, and communicates his own feelings respectfully. He understands that winning an argument at the cost of damaging the relationship is never truly a win. Women are deeply attracted to this approach because it demonstrates emotional control, wisdom, and partnership. Self-awareness is another critical part of emotional maturity. Many younger or less experienced men resist admitting their faults. They deflect, they blame others, or they pretend everything is fine. But a mature man has faced enough of life to know that denial only delays growth. He has learned to reflect on his own actions, to recognize his weaknesses, and to take responsibility for his mistakes. And instead of being ashamed of these imperfections, he uses them as opportunities to improve. Women admire this greatly because there is nothing more frustrating than a man who refuses to take accountability. When a man can say, "I was wrong, and I'll do better," he not only earns respect, but also shows the strength to grow. That willingness to evolve is an incredibly attractive quality. Emotional maturity does not mean suppressing emotions. Some men think being mature means never crying, never showing sadness, never expressing vulnerability. But that is not strength, that is denial. True maturity is the ability to feel emotions deeply while still managing them responsibly. A man can feel anger without becoming destructive, sadness without collapsing, and fear without being paralyzed. He can open up about what he feels without letting those feelings control him. This balance makes a woman feel closer to him because she knows she is with someone real, someone human, someone who can connect with her emotionally without falling apart. This maturity also extends beyond the relationship and shows in how a man interacts with the world around him. A woman observes how he treats people, friends, family, strangers, An immature man might be kind to her, but rude to the waiter, arrogant with colleagues, or impatient with his children. This inconsistency creates doubt in her mind. But a mature man treats people with respect across the board. He does not need to assert dominance over others to feel powerful. His kindness and composure are consistent, whether he's speaking to a CEO or to someone serving him food. This consistency reassures a woman that his behavior toward her is genuine, not an act. Patience is another sign of emotional maturity that women deeply value. Life is unpredictable. Plans fall through, careers take turns, people make mistakes. An impatient man reacts with frustration, demanding that everything and everyone move according to his pace. This makes relationships stressful. A mature man, however, has learned to trust the process of life. He is patient not because he is weak, but because he understands that time and effort are often required for good things to unfold. That patience creates a calm atmosphere in the relationship, making the woman feel like she can breathe and simply be herself without pressure. Emotional maturity is also about consistency. A man who is calm today but explosive tomorrow creates confusion and fear. Women are drawn to men who are steady, whose moods don't swing wildly, and whose presence can be relied upon. This doesn't mean a man never has bad days, but even in those moments, he knows how to communicate without lashing out, how to ask for space without disappearing, and how to express frustration without attacking. Consistency builds trust, and trust builds attraction. At its core, emotional maturity is what allows a man to build deep and lasting connections. Looks may capture attention, confidence may spark interest, but it is emotional maturity that makes a woman stay. It reassures her that she is not just with someone who can handle life's easy moments, but with someone who can also handle the storms. She knows that with him, her feelings won't be ignored, her voice won't be silenced, and her heart won't be mishandled. That assurance is priceless, and it is why women often say that maturity is sexier than youth. Ultimately, emotional maturity is a product of growth. It comes from facing hardships, learning from mistakes, and choosing to evolve instead of staying stuck. An older man who has embraced this growth embodies a kind of strength that is quiet yet powerful. He doesn't need to prove himself, he doesn't need to dominate, and he doesn't need to pretend. He is steady, reflective, compassionate, and accountable. And when a woman encounters that, it captures her in a way that no superficial quality ever could. This is why emotional maturity is not just attractive, it is essential. It is the foundation for trust, the engine of stability, and the bridge to genuine intimacy. It is what allows a man to lead without control, to love without fear, and to inspire without forcing. And when a man embodies emotional maturity, women don't just notice him. They feel deeply drawn to him, because with him they find something rare: peace, safety, and true partnership. Financial and lifestyle stability is one of those qualities that is often misunderstood, sometimes even criticized, but it remains one of the deepest, most consistent factors that influence a woman's attraction to a man. When people hear the word financial, they think immediately of wealth, luxury cars, and flashy displays of success, but the truth is far more practical and subtle. Stability is not about impressing someone with how much you have. It is about showing that you are reliable, responsible, and capable of creating a life that is grounded and secure. This is something that older men often have an advantage in because they have had more time to build, to learn discipline, and to create a foundation for their lives. And when a woman sees that kind of foundation, she feels something that cannot be faked: peace of mind. Money in itself is not the secret, but the way a man handles money says everything about his character. A man who is careless with his finances, constantly in debt, or always chasing quick wins without a plan communicates instability. A woman who encounters this feels uncertain about her future with him because she knows that poor financial habits often spill into other areas of life. On the other hand, a man who has cultivated discipline with money, who lives within his means, who plans for tomorrow instead of